What's happening, guys, and welcome to episode 46 of the Galactic Explorers podcast. Before we start today, I just want to offer our condolences to the victims and their families of this mass shooting that's occurred today in Jacksonville at a Madden Tournament. It's weird to think that this stuff is kind of happening to the gaming community now, where it was kind of, I won't say localized, but it was the shock factor was mainly sticking to schools and such areas like that. But yes, our condolences go out to the families and the victims that have suffered because of this. Onto lighter things then.
I didn't even know this was going on. I just looked at my Twitter machine, and I'm shocked that this is even happening at a Madden tournament, no less. Like, I
think it's happened within the last hour of recording, before recording. Within the last 2 hours. So it's an awful thing to happen
at a Madden tournament. What?
I know it's just crazy, isn't it? The things that some people do to get the shock factor and that kind of thing. So
why target a Madden tournament? I'm sorry. I'm just hearing this now. So I'm kind of just in this kind of amazement by this is garbage.
So yes, as you can hear, I am joined by Jeff. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, besides that terrible news I just got.
Yeah, it's kind of I can't think of anything of it ever happening before within the gaming community. Not that I can remember it anyway. But yeah, it's a bit taken aback really. So it's been a couple of weeks since I've last done this. I was on holiday with my family last weekend. When we usually record, so Jeff and Kings were in charge. How did that go for you?
It was actually not too bad. Besides that little hiccup we had with Kings getting disconnected in the middle of it, but it was fun. We talked about some good stuff and went a little bit longer, probably went a little bit longer than you wanted it to. But
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening to it.
Me and Kings haven't talked in a good minute, so it was good to get back into contact with him and just go over a few things.
Yeah. I couldn't plan the edits any more perfect with you saying by the magic of editing. So it couldn't have gone any more perfect than that, really. So.
No, you did it. That was a good job on your part. So.
I didn't go too over the top on the memes. So.
Oh no! When you said that to me, I was expecting much worse. I had a million things running through my head what you were going to do. So it was on the milder side. Let's put it that way. What I thought you were going to
do. But yeah, no, I really did enjoy the podcast. I had a listen. For some strange reason, I think I got mixed up with my times because if any listeners don't know, I post on Cobra's blogger site. I'll post up all the video releases that we have and stuff on there. And because obviously where he's located, over in your shores, he has the time zone set to there. So just out of mix up, I set the podcast to go live at 11 a.m., which is when I usually set the blogger post to go live over there. So obviously it'll go live for you. The blogger post will go live at 11 a.m. for you guys, but 7 p.m. The video will go up my time. So I got those mixed up. So the podcast was up for about 8 hours before I even realised. And then I looked at this thing and was thinking, someone's viewed it already? It's been up for 8 hours already? What the hell?
That's so funny because I remember earlier that day I was just looking around and I just happened to go on the Galactic Explorers YouTube page and I seen it there. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I didn't get any notifications that this was up, so I just went and listened to it.
Yeah.
I was just like,
it was
wow, this is crazy.
It was completely my fault. I think, like I said, I think it was just like I got mixed up with the blogger posts. Like I said, I think he's got it set to West Coast time. So obviously that's 8 hours behind me. So it's the only thing I can think of, because obviously, like I said, the blogger posts go live on West Coast time at 11 a.m. So that'll be like, was it 1 p.m. for you, that? Or like 2 p.m. or something?
I think I'm like 5 hours behind you. So
yeah, so it'd be like 2 p.m., wouldn't it? Yeah. But yeah, so a little hiccups, but nothing we couldn't manage and sort it out eventually anyway. So yeah, let's get on with this episode 46. We're nearly at 50. I think I've got an idea for episode 50.
Oh, there we go.
To involve some of the peeps. I'll have to get. Oh, we'll talk about it in a bit anyway. So as usual, let's start with No Man's Sky relatedness. And obviously, listening to your guys' podcast last week, obviously you're both a little bit disappointed with the 4-player co-op, multiplayer, whatever you want to call it.
4-player co-op.
It's multiplayer. You don't have to cooperate. You can just go into the person's game and just fly off.
Sure, I guess. It's whatever you want to call it. It's
See, usually when I think co-op, I usually think of like first-person shooter games where you're obviously cooperating to do a specific either mission or, reach a specific goal or whatever. I find multiplayers in you're playing with people.
Sure.
Sorry, there's flies flying around again. It's doing my head in. So obviously, along with having at least 16 plus multiplayer added to the game, so obviously being able to see 16 or more players in game. Do you think Hello Games are also heading towards adding some sort of clan system into No Man's Sky?
I think this is something that's long overweighted.
There's
so many different factions and groups and hubs, and all this other stuff out there that this is something, honestly, that should have been put in a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, with the release of the was it the Galactic Atlas website? I think it's called. Yeah. Obviously, in that they Hello Games uploaded like the whole Galactic Hub logo, haven't they, and other hubs logos and whatnot onto the map. And that was at release as well, wasn't it? That wasn't due to the hub uploading or anything, or at least I don't presume so.
No, that they had to upload that because that whole Galactic Atlas thing, like that was going on like a couple weeks before Next came out. So there was, they had that thing in the
pipeline.
Waking Titan. Yeah, the Waking Titan email that we got prompted you to that website to upload important places or hubs or anything like that. So you could upload pictures, and I'm sure they probably uploaded their stupid logo or whatever the hell it is.
I'll have to tell you something about that later after we finish recording. So yeah, I mean, they obviously need to sort out the number of multiplayer capabilities before obviously they add clans, because it's just kind of pointless having clans when you can only play with, say, like 4 members. Sorry guys, I am literally dying on my feet right now. So yeah, it definitely needs to be. Obviously, they definitely need to sort out the multiplayer numbers before they do the clans. It's, I mean, a bit interesting to see. It's weird still, the fact to me that the NPCs don't walk around and stuff, and if I think if they didn't increase the number of the multiplayer, I think if the NPCs moved around and could actually go into combat with the NPCs, it would kind of mitigate the whole number of multiplayer a bit to a certain degree. So like you could actually have like battles with the NPCs, like instead of it just always being the sentinels. Maybe that's just me.
No, I don't understand why. See now, okay, I'm gonna get a little frustrated right now. I love Hello Games, and I love how they're trying to stay a small team and stuff like that. And they're making huge additions to these updates, right? Mm-hmm. But it's taking too long, and I don't want to say there's not enough, but there's like basic stuff that we've asked for for the past 2 years that we still haven't got yet. Mm. And I just feel that if they just were a somewhat bigger team, this could. I feel like this game is missing out on its true potential, and as time goes on, I worry about it staying relevant.
Yeah.
Because I mean, dude, it was a year for us to get Next. Mm-hmm. And there was nothing in between. And, I mean, we got a ton of stuff for Next, but really, was it worth a year's wait? In my mind, like, not really. Mm. I mean, the Ring Planets was cool, but, I mean, that's been on PC almost since launch through mods. Yeah. The so-called multiplayer we have... that's been in since Atlas Rises. The only thing new was really just a 4-player co-op. You still can't if you come across an actual random player, not a random person that joins your party, it's still a ball of light. I mean, yes, they've made graphical improvements on the planets. I get that, but when the grand scheme of things, it doesn't feel like a year's worth of content.
No.
That a bigger studio could probably put out in a year's time. And I just worry that they can't put out enough content quick enough. And people just, over time, are just going to kind of lose touch with the game.
But I mean, I think that happens with all games, doesn't it? Obviously. All games tend to have a certain lifespan. Obviously, games that are more focused on their online elements tend to have a longer lifespan, just because of like the day and age that we're in currently.
No, I get it. I don't know how to say it without seeming ungrateful, I guess. It's just, dude, they still haven't, like, there's still, like, simple things like you just said, the NPCs walking around. Are you going to tell me, like, that's that freaking hard to do? I mean, they have animated creatures that walk around. Like, just implement that into NPCs. Who cares if they're just walking around in a circle? I mean, they're still holding the same tablets that they were when the game came out. I mean, they're really not doing anything different. I mean, the problem with underwater travel, it's still just as slow as it was when the game launched. And people have been asking for some underwater vehicle or underwater movement speed up of some sort since the game came out. It's 2 years. It's 2 years now. I mean, it's cool, great. Wow, we can control 50 or 30 or 50 frigates now. Awesome thing, but we still can't. We can't move faster underwater. I mean, it seems like they're putting effort into. They're putting good effort in, but they're missing some key features that the community really wants.
I mean, there might be obviously. I don't know. I mean, I think up to a certain point, the underwater part, because like you said in the last podcast, the water sections are now a lot deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before you could pretty much see the bottom,
right,
and see if there was anything down there that you wanted to have a look at or whatnot. So I think it wasn't as much of an issue pre-next, because you literally only went under the water maybe just to have an explore or just to get certain resources. But I think now with the whole new building features and deeper oceans and cave systems, it is showing its limitations as to what can be done underwater now. But no, I completely agree. I mean, the whole jetpack thing should be able to work underwater, even if they just, like you said, added an upgrade. So you would travel faster under the water. Would make sense. But I also think that they're obviously working, because like I said, pre-next it wasn't as much of an issue, and obviously they had like a list of the most important features that they'll probably try to get through. Maybe that'll be on the next update, because of the situation that we're in now.
See, that's what worries me, is because you're talking about when the next update comes out.
Yeah.
Like, is this going to be another 6 months? I mean, is this going to be another year until we get... Dude, it took us a year to get 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
I mean, is this going to be another year to get 8 players in a team? Like, come on. Like, it's... I love what we have right now, and I sound really negative when I'm talking about this.
It's frustrating.
I'm just frustrated with how long this is taking. I just wish, I don't know. I wish that, okay, here's what I wish. I wished if they had a particular thing that they were trying to implement. Like, you can tell that they really wanted to put multiplayer or co-op or whatever into this game.
Mm.
They should have just focused on that instead of doing the frickin' missions and all this other stuff. Like, it seems like they're splitting up their team into separate sections instead of just uniting everybody together to work on one major aspect of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they could get a lot more done if they had a focused objective instead of, like, doing this and then going here, then doing this right here, then that right there. Like, I mean, I just...
So if they delivered 16-player co-op in next update, but then nothing else that was added into the next update, would you have been happy with just 16-player co-op? If they added not the new frigates, the graphical updates, none of the new, because we've got some new lore missions as well, haven't we? I believe.
No. I wouldn't have been happy if it took them a year.
Yeah, especially if it took them a year to do it.
No, I wouldn't. That would be unacceptable. I would be okay with it if it was 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I liked how they were doing, I like how they're doing the original updates where they're every, 3, 4, 5 months or something like that. Like, that was good. Like, were
those updates in similar size to the next update? I mean, obviously, we had some big new things added into those previous updates.
I don't know if it was as big, but you know what? Those past updates were? They were extremely focused. Like the
high quality.
Well, no, it was just what they wanted to achieve was extremely focused. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, Foundation update, that included base building. It wasn't base building and...
Yeah. I mean,
something else, and then something else, and something...
They did have, smaller things added into them.
Yeah, but you know what? That was okay. That was acceptable.
Big things.
Yeah. I don't want to sound like I'm... Like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful. Because
I get
I appreciate... I just wish that they would go back to the more focus-driven updates where every 3, 4, or even 5 months, you get, this is the multiplayer update, where it's focusing directly on multiplayer. And then a couple months after that, this is the frigate update, where we're expanding on letting you have frigates in your group and the missions and stuff like that.
Do you think also that this might be a case of like not being overhyped again for the next update, but maybe the fact that Hello Games are extremely secretive and quiet, whereas a lot of other developers will tell you what's coming in a future update, usually?
I have a feeling that Hello Games is always going to be like this now, since initial...
Do you think it would have been a bit more accepting if you knew, 3-4 months ahead of time what to expect in the next update? So you would have been like, oh, okay, this is what's coming.
It's not the knowledge of what's coming. I just want it more focused. I just want it to be like I like how it was before. Atlas Rises. That major update was 30 hours of story. I mean, there was little tiny things sprinkled in, but the main brunt of that update was the 30-hour story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pathfinder. The main focus of that update was the exocrafts and the missions to get them. You know what I'm saying? That there was other little things sprinkled in, but the main brunt of that update was the exocraft vehicles and stuff like that. So I like that way of doing it instead of trying to put here, let's give you a bunch of stuff all at once, but it's going to take us a year to do it. I mean, dude, I don't know how I would feel if I had to wait another year for update from what we have right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love No Man's Sky. I love Hello Games. I love their ambition. I just don't know.
Like I said, I personally feel it's just because it's not an actual online, like a proper online game, say things like Call of Duty and Destiny or what's the other one? The Division. Those kind of games have longevity because of their online components. And, you still talk about those games, 4 or 5 years after they've been released. Whereas, obviously this does have online components, but the brunt of the game is usually, and what most people think of it, is a solo player game. And if you think about it, with this game still being supported 2 years down the line, we're entering its third year now. If it's still going to be supported to the degree that it has been, I think it's done fairly well.
No, it has.
Compared to other games.
It had. Well, I mean, just the fact that all the updates have been free is...
that's massively helpful.
That's really nice that is the case. I just don't... Like I said, I don't know if I could... I don't know if it's acceptable to wait another year for an update. I'd rather have, instead of it being a massive update, I'd rather have an update. Even if you did every 6 months, break it up. Give people time to play the game for a couple months, and then they can kind of tail off a little bit, and then get back into it a month or two after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Waiting a year. I mean, dude, a lot can happen in a month, let alone a year. And I just want them to do those those actual focused updates.
I mean, it's probably a lot to do with the whole, especially with this one. It's probably a lot to do with obviously the whole Xbox deal, and obviously Alison Smith.
See, this is what I told
you.
Man.
But now with the whole ARG done with, though, they don't have to worry about that. They don't have to worry about bringing the game out on another console either. So, I can't see them bring them out super quick, the updates, but I can see them. I mean, you've seen now the whole patches. The patches are bringing out between 2 and 3 a week.
See, that's the thing too with these patches. There's so many bugs with this game because there's secrecy of doing these updates is killing them in the end, because they're not letting people play, they're not beta testing it, and this is what happens when you do that. Like, you stay secret and you keep all the stuff hidden, it never gets play tested. And here we are, like, a month after the game, and my game still crashes. Like, you know, and there's so many things that they have to fix. Like, they're fixing this, and then they're fixing... See, if it was just a more focused update, they can just focus all their attention, and it would only take them 2 weeks to fix it, instead of a month now, and it's still not fixed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just... I don't know. I love the game, and I love the update. It's fantastic. I just am just a little bit concerned with just the way that they're doing things. I hope now that they got this big major update out of the way, I hope that they go back to smaller, more frequent updates.
Like I said, I personally think it was probably to do with the whole Xbox thing, because there was no point in them bringing the update out before the Xbox. I mean, from like a marketing perspective, do you know what I mean? Like, it's good marketing to say, oh, let's bring it out with the Xbox version, kind of thing.
This damn Xbox, man. Like, I've been saying this. So how many times have I said this? Like, it would just be disappointing if they spent any time putting effort into that Xbox. Like, there's so many things that need to be fixed first before it goes to another console. Like, I'm happy Xbox players can play. Welcome to the community, whatever. But there's still major things that need to get done in this game before it goes to another console.
Well, it just proves that it was rushed out in the first place. Like, it obviously wasn't ready to be brought out on the PlayStation, let alone onto another console. So,
dude, you can make a point that this update was rushed.
Yeah, no, they obviously didn't. Like I said, they didn't stress test the game at all. Didn't, you know, there was no beta. I mean, they wouldn't have done a beta, because a lot of updates don't get a beta play test unless it's in house. They don't tend to just beta test an update for players usually. So, but,
I don't know. I don't want to go on with this anymore. It's going to make people are going to think that I'm just being negative about the game, and I'm not.
I know where you're coming from. I mean, it is stupid. Like, if it has been because of the whole timing it with the Xbox launch and all that stuff, E3. I mean, there is obviously things like E3 as well, isn't there, to take into consideration.
Yeah, but they weren't even at E3.
No, but they didn't deny that they wouldn't be there though beforehand, did they? So it was still leaving it open to people thinking, oh, are they going to be at E3?
That's another thing, dude. Why can't they just hire an actual dedicated PR person? Like, so much, like, vague news or whatever, like, it would get cleared up with one person just having a job, and all they do is just PR. Even if it's someone part-time, for like when they have updates coming. Like, just, I'm sick of the smoke and mirrors, like, of speculation and all these speculation videos, and people like seeing one little thing, and all of a sudden there's 50 freaking videos on YouTube of everybody giving their opinions and ideas, and honestly, none of them were right, really, in the end, because everybody's just all this wild speculation. Just, you know what? Give me the facts. You know, give it to me straight. Like, I'd rather have that than the element of surprise at this point. They've surprised me.
You never know. A consultant might not want to even touch them, because obviously what happened in the past.
Well, then I don't know. Then maybe they need to get somebody in house and have them just be a dedicated. Dude. They have courses in college for being PR, and go take a course. You know what I'm saying? That's not an excuse, man. Like, I don't know. How just to look at Next, okay? There was people pointing out in those that trailer release video that there was 5 players, visible players on a screen at one time. But we could only have 4. So even in that trailer, that was a lie. So either they had to scale it back at one point, or they just made a mistake and they had 5 people in there at one time and it was never going to be like that at launch?
5
or
people? In which video was this?
On the launch, during one of the launch trailer for next, there's an underwater scene, or in one of the screenshots on their website, someone pointed out that there was actually 5 visible player avatars in a picture at one time.
Is this picture still up?
I'm assuming so. I mean, it was all over. I mean, before Next came out, like when the trailers and that stuff started coming out, like that's when people started pointing it out. Because I remember people were like, "Oh, it's going to be more than 4 players." Because look, and someone had like a picture of arrows pointing to every single avatar in the picture, and there was 5 arrows there, and you could clearly see that there was 5 separate avatars in the picture.
Is this the beginning bit where they're underwater?
It might be. It might be one of those pictures. It might be an actual screenshot. That got released with the trailers at one point. I'll have to try to.
Yeah, I'll have a look later.
I'll have to try to find it. But there is a lot of early on before Next even came out. After those trailers came out, a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, look, there's 5 players. There's going to be more than 4 people in your party, and this and that, blah blah blah." And like, no, you can't. It's 4 people, and that's it. Like, any random players outside that party are orbs, and that's it. So I mean, even in that picture was a lie. I mean, I don't know. I just, you know what? I love the game, and I'm waiting to see what happens next. I'm hoping that these weekly updates, when they ever come out, are going to fix or going to add a lot more content to the game. I have a feeling that we're probably not going to get these weekly events until the game is fixed, and that could be another month from now. I mean, I'm not thinking that these weekly updates are going to come, or weekly events are going to come out anytime soon. I mean, there's still problems with the game. I don't want these updates or these weekly events until the game is fixed. Until I can play the game for a certain amount of time and the freaking thing doesn't crash on me for landing on my planet, I don't want weekly events.
Yeah, well, that's probably what they're trying to do, isn't it? That's probably the reason why they aren't bringing the events out right now, is because obviously they're trying to get this whole bugs fixed and everything.
Right. I mean, listen, I'm happy with the game. I wish they were more focused instead of giving us, just dumping a bunch of stuff on us at once. I wish they would just really nail down specific things and go through. You know what they should do? They should post on Reddit, give us a list of things that we want or we've been asking for a long time.
They'll probably do, though. They'll probably get that day in, day out when, through the messaging service they have.
Yeah, okay, if that's the case, then we would have already had an underwater vehicle then.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Obviously, there was no point really exploring underwater before Next.
Right, I mean,
okay. So obviously, if they're still backdated from stuff pre-Next, that they're trying to work through, I mean, that might be what it is, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I said,
if you think about it like this, Minecraft obviously is still going. They're still updating Minecraft. That's been out for 10 years, maybe.
Right.
9 years, maybe. They've only just added the water update to the game. Like, this is where it's got like loads of underwater, like there's underwater ships and things, like boats and stuff. And they've only just added that into the game.
See, their multiplayer is more than 4 people too, I believe.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But that's the thing. That game's been out for 9 years, and they've only just added things like sunken ships to the game, and like they've only really just. They've only really just touched on the idea of using the underwater space altogether. All they had before was squids and I think a temple, like an underwater temple, and that's it.
Don't get me started on Minecraft. I don't want to say something bad and have like a gang of fucking emo kids like coming after me and
I'm pretty
giving
sure
me
that
hate.
isn't our audience. Don't worry.
I already have enough hate coming at me from other people. I don't need a whole other community of people to come after me. So
let's move on to like the last topic about No Man's Sky then. Really. So obviously with the new customization options for like avatars and things. Do you reckon do you reckon this is the beginning of things like customizing the appearance of the ships?
I sure hope so. I mean, it just seems like it's so easy to do.
Yeah. And do you also think that we will ever see like planet landing ships. Apart from obviously his own little starfighters and things.
There's already a mod on computer where you can take your frigates and the frigates will almost land on the planet. Like they're in, like you can take a Pacific frigate and actually bring it into the atmosphere. And they're hovering above like the ground.
Nice.
So, that man, you know what, dude? I need to get a better computer because I think I'm sick. I think I'm done playing No Man's Sky on PS4 just because it's
limitations.
I don't understand why amateur people can make the game better than an actual studio.
Oh, now you might get some hate for that one now.
Well, I mean, okay, when I say amateur, I mean like none of the people that are making these mods, they're not employed by Hello Games.
No.
Okay. And they're coming out. I mean, what?
But then again, though, they aren't. Hello Games obviously has to have a team vision, don't they? They obviously all got to agree on working towards the same thing. Whereas modders can just wake up one morning and think, oh, I know, I'm going to add a flying dildo into No Man's Sky.
Well, no, I mean that's a bit crazy, but I mean,
no, but do you know what I mean? That's the kind of thing. Obviously, with Hello Games, they've got to agree on. Oh, let's agree to hitting these or adding these things into the game.
You know what PC had that was awesome that I always wanted in the game is that they had an exocraft that was like a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And like they had that for like the longest time. And it doesn't seem like it would even be that hard to implement. Someone wrote the code. They completely it looks just like one of the other exocrafts, but I mean it has like the two wheels on it.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine. I mean, I'm sure the person that programmed it went to school for it and whatever. I'm not saying that like they're complete idiots, but I mean, dude, someone wrote that. An independent person wrote that mod, and they put it in the game, and it works great. Rayrod, he does awesome stuff.
Mm.
And I mean,
but then again, though, obviously, a lot of the times when these people make these mods, and then say a company takes inspiration from these mods and adds them into the game, there's been instances where either the mod writer has, I think, tried to sue the company, like stealing their ideas, or vice versa, where they've stopped, like Bethesda.
Yeah, but you know what?
Making their mods.
People do modding for Ark on PC,
mm-hmm.
and if enough people like the mod, Ark actually pays those people to use their mod and put it in official. Though there's maps, like official maps on Ark right now that like the what map was it? The Center and Ragnarok. Those aren't even made by Wildcard. Those are actual independent people making those maps, and they were so good that Wildcard paid to use those in those games, and they're official maps. Right. And honestly, like those people that make those maps are better than the programmers for Wildcard. Like some of those maps that they make are the most popular ones because I mean I'm not taking anything away from Wildcard, but I mean like, dude, Ragnarok is the best map. I'm going into Ark right now because I play that and this is my perspective of it. But Ragnarok is the best map on the game, and it's not even made by the company that makes the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, so that tells you something. You know, like, so what? So, you're telling me that Hello Games doesn't have enough money to pay Rayrod or any other modder out there?
It's not only that,
like,
it's obviously being able to bring them onto, like, bringing the assets onto the PlayStation and on Xbox as well. I mean, onto Xbox it shouldn't be a problem, but obviously we all know PlayStation's modding asset thing, whatever it is.
Don't make it a mod. Just make it as an update in the game.
Yeah, but they've got to create the whole thing from scratch, haven't they, and stuff. That's what I mean.
Not if they get the permission from the person that made the mod for PC. All it is just transferring the code over to
yeah, but obviously
it's not.
Yeah, but you don't just transfer it and put it onto console, do you? Because obviously the coding for the consoles is probably different for PC. That's what I mean. Like, plus it's probably a lot more technical than you think just to add something. It'd be easy to add it onto PC because obviously someone's already done it, but no one's done it on PlayStation before.
Rayrod, before Next came out, he actually cracked the PlayStation code, and he was finding a way to put mods onto the PC, onto the PlayStation build before Next came out.
You wouldn't be able to, because PlayStation has that whole asset rule, don't they? It's the whole thing with Bethesda. You know, when Bethesda they couldn't put mods onto the PlayStation. They had to go through their whole Bethesda store thing or something.
No, I'm just saying that he figured out how to do it. He accessed the coding somehow.
Oh yeah, but it wouldn't have been able to upload mods for people to download onto their PlayStation.
No. I'm just saying that he figured out a way to get into the coding for PlayStation.
Yeah.
Make changes and stuff like that. I don't know how he did it. Dude, that guy is phenomenal. Hello Games should hire him like right now. Like,
yeah, but he's in a different country.
Pay him!
Yeah, but still in a different country.
Still, I mean...
Their office is in the UK, remember?
Dude, let me tell you what, I'm sure they could offer him a good amount of money for him to kind of relocate and get onto an actual development team.
Probably. I don't know how many... I don't know how many of Hello Games staff are non-UK. But there is a massive trend in the UK indie scene where a lot of the developers are UK based originally. Mm-hmm. Just because a lot of the studios in the UK are indie game developers. So it's kind of like it's like with farming, isn't it? So obviously if you go to like some stores where they just get mass produced hen eggs, and then you go to other stores where they might charge you a little bit more or something, but they're all locally produced, and they're trying to keep their local produce. It's a similar thing.
I don't know.
By the way, before we get off at indie gaming, if you are looking at more indie games, this is a shameless plug. We do have a series running at the minute called the Early Access Show, where we are covering one indie game each week, or at least I'm trying to keep it to each week. And yes, last Friday's episode was. Have you seen last Friday's episode yet, Jeff?
Not yet. Actually,
it might be up your alley, that one.
Oh, okay. I will try to watch it as soon as possible.
It's a game called Genesis Alpha 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's been developed by a German team. But it is being published by Team 17. Have you heard of them?
No.
Well, have you heard of the Worms games?
What? Toe Jam and Earl?
No, Worms.
No, I don't know.
So basically, it's like a tactical game. It was 2D. And you played as like little worms, and yet you shot like machine guns and rockets over to the other person's worm and tried to take them out. And you got like health, and the environment's destructible. I'm surprised you never heard of it. It's quite big. It's been around for like 20 odd years.
I'm not. If it's on PC, I'm not really the hugest PC person, and the games I play on PC are all MMORPG.
Well, that's, I mean, it has been around for like 20 years. These games, and in fact, the company, Team 17 themselves, have been around for nearly 30 years.
Right, like I said, my PC gaming experience is. Yeah, majority is all MMORPG. Like I play Guild Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah, but yeah, this Genesis Alpha 1, it looks really interesting. Like there's a lot of like resource gathering, but you're basically building and managing your starship, and you're adding new rooms to it and things like that. And then you got to go to like, you can either go to different planets, or you can send out your clones to go to different planets to get resources. And then sometimes they bring back alien infestations, and you got to try and kill them before they enter like all the tunnel systems in your ship and stuff, and start infesting the rest of your ship and things. But it looks really interesting. It does look a good one. But you can also expect a new episode to come out this coming Friday. So this goes out on the Wednesday, and then 2 days later on the Friday, the next episode will go out, and that will be focusing on. This game got shown at E3 in 2017. I can't remember if it got shown this year or not, but it was called The Last Night. It was on the Xbox. It was on the Xbox presentation. It's coming to both Xbox and PC. So watch out for the video on Friday. I've got to record the audio tomorrow, I think. I was going to record it tonight, but I'm just going to be too tired. So yes. The next thing I want to talk about, obviously we talked about this earlier. This 50th episode is coming up soon, in 3 weeks probably, if we don't miss it a week. And I'm thinking of possibly doing a photo competition, getting the audience involved.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that what I might do is I've got a few ideas for a T-shirt in the mix, and I'm thinking maybe whoever we choose to win, I'll send out a T-shirt for them, something like that. Yeah,
that's nice.
So we'll see. I'll have to work on it and see what we can get going there. Now,
are we allowed to enter in the competition?
No, we're not allowed because we're judging it. That's not entirely fair, Jeff. God. He's got no faith in his audience. He thinks there's like 3 people watching or something. And it's all three of us.
It's not. It's not that. It's not that at all. It's not that at all.
Let's move on to like other gaming news then, and one that's near and dear to my heart now. CYBERPUNK2077. I want to know, when do you think it's going to be released? Because the news from Gamescom this past week is that it's in a fully playable state from start to finish, and that's all that's left to finish on the game is creating some of the assets and bug fixing.
My opinion is that they'll show actual gameplay at E3 next year, and it'll either be out late next year or early year after that.
Yeah, see, that's my thinking as well. They show the same demo, like the closed demo that they had at E3 this year. They showed it at Gamescom again, but it was different. Like new things added into it and stuff. Essentially, it was the same, like 40-50 minute demo that was shown. So, but I'm so excited for this game, and it's exciting to know that they've brought it to 2 of the big game shows, like one after each other, rather than waiting, like showing it at E3 and then wait until like next year, or showing it at Gamescom and wait until E3 next year to show it again. So it's exciting the fact that they're showing it twice in a row. But then I guess it kind of makes sense because Gamescom is CD Projekt Red's local, or you can class it as local gaming expo, because I think they're based in Poland. So obviously Gamescom's held in Germany each year. I think it's in. I want to say it's Frankfurt, but it might be wrong. So yeah, so we're both saying late 2019, early 2020.
That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. Interesting. What have you been playing this week anyway?
I actually I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky, obviously. I've been following Cobra's Galactic Thunderdome.
Right, yeah.
That he has going on, so I've been very in tune to that.
Yeah, I've heard you participated.
Someone participated. Someone participated in Cobra's Thunderdome a couple times.
Yeah.
So I've been following that, and I just recently started playing. I just got back into Codan Exiles.
Oh yes.
And I just started recording some new gameplay.
I did see this on your Twitter yesterday.
Yeah. I'm doing a role-playing PvP server on Conan, and I don't normally do PvP gameplay on my channel. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and just do it for this one.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's I have no real deep connection with this game, so if someone finds me on the server I'm on and wipes me, like, I don't really care. Ark I care about because I been playing that for so long. Conan is just like a new thing. And so if someone finds my base or whatever on Conan and wipes me, like, I don't really care about that. Yeah. I think it's more for the fun and the roleplay aspect of it and everything like that. I think I'm going to do that. So I got about 2 or 3 episodes recorded already for that.
Oh, nice.
And I just have to go through and edit those. So I can't promise when those are going to be uploaded yet. I kind of want to sometime soon.
Backdate some episodes.
Yeah, exactly. I just that's going to be something I'm working on right now.
Is that going to be a weekly thing or?
I will try to do it weekly. I want to get a bunch of stuff recorded because as soon as Tomb Raider comes out, like I'm dropping everything and doing Tomb Raider until I beat the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So I want to have a bunch of episodes ready to go. So if I take a 2 or 3 or 4 weeks or whatever to play Tomb Raider, I could still put out content.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes out in a couple weeks. That comes out like mid-September. So I already have like 2 or 3 episodes of Conan already done. So that might work out perfectly if I could just do like 1 or 2 more.
Awesome.
And have those ready. So like I said, I've been doing a lot on No Man's Sky, getting myself all done up. And I just started focusing on Conan for a little bit, doing that. And other than that, I'm planning on downloading Elite Dangerous because me and Kings were talking about doing some Elite Dangerous group play or whatever.
Yeah.
So I got to get that done, and that's about it, really. I mean,
interesting.
I'm really excited for Tomb Raider. And
I know
and then later this year, I'm really excited for Fallout 76. So I'm kind of clearing my table off of everything when it gets later in the year. So I'm hoping by I don't want to make any promises, but I'm saving money right now for a new PC, and I'm getting a new PC tower and a capture card, and I'm hoping I'm going to be streaming a lot more. So when Fallout 76 happens, I hope I'm going to be up and running so I can do live streams of Fallout 76. So.
Are you hoping to play Fallout 76 on PC?
No.
Okay.
No, it's going to be strictly on my PlayStation. Cool. But I want to. I don't like the PlayStation. The way that they downgrade the video when you stream and put it onto the internet. I don't like that. I want to, and I want to try Twitch because I haven't tried Twitch before, and I don't like how Twitch, like, you have to buy a special account to keep your video if you stream a video. That's why I need a capture card, and my computer just isn't good enough to support a capture card right now. So both those things kind of go together. So I want to try streaming on Twitch, and I want the capture card so I can use my content to post it on my YouTube page. So.
Yeah. Interesting. I've been playing Shenmue as that got released this past week. Shenmue 1 and 2. First time in... I want to say I played it the first one in 2000, so it's been 18 years.
Shenmue?
Yeah, Shenmue.
What is that?
You've never heard
whale?
of Shenmue?
The whale?
Not Shamu, no, not Shamu.
Oh.
That was long before my time. I think Shamu died before I was born, mate.
Hey, man. That's my time, bro. Shamu never died. He lives on through all of us.
No, have you never heard of Shenmue before?
No.
You were never a Dreamcast kid, though, were you?
No, I totally hated Dreamcast. That was such a...
What?
Dude, damn it. I never should have said that.
It was beyond its generation, let's be fair.
It was beyond its generation for only having like 10 playable games that were worth playing.
Yeah, but it was like, all the games were amazing, though.
No comment. Dreamcast was cool. I respect that console during that generation of time, but I mean overall,
it was the PS2 before PS2.
Yeah, you're definitely right, because I mean, what else was there? The only thing that was like really around during that time was that Sega Saturn, and that was garbage.
Yeah, well, Dreamcast was made by Sega.
Well, I mean that's surprising because of how garbage Sega Saturn was.
Well, I think around the same time, I think PlayStation was coming towards the end of its life cycle, obviously. I think N64 was still out. So it was still like either cartridge based or very early CD based.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Dreamcast came out, and like it had things like Crazy Taxi on there, obviously Sonic Adventures. Shenmue came out on it as well.
During that time period, I was still stuck on GoldenEye for N64, and that's when the first Gran Turismo came out
on the PlayStation.
And Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Those were like my go-to things when I was around that time, so that's why I really didn't get into.
So basically, Shenmue is like the first, like, real kind of. I want to say it's like a mixture between, like, a Telltale game nowadays. It's pretty much like the first kind of Telltale game, but on on a similar like size scale for back then, for 18 years ago. There's like a lot of quick time events. There's a lot of like walking around, talking to people. It's like a detective game kind of thing, but it's so immersive. Like you have to get a job at working at docks, because basically it's set in Japan in I think it's 1984. And it starts off where you're heading towards your family's home, and then there's this dude who's about to kill your father. Kills your father, disappears, and you're basically going out to find out who it was who killed him and get revenge and stuff. And obviously there's obviously other things you got to go, but like all the people that you talk to, like they all feel like individual characters and everything. It's like so you got to get a job to find out where these people are coming from at the docks and things, and you're driving a forklift as your job, and you got to be there because there's a clock feature, so you wake up in the morning, you got to get there to work for a certain time, and that kind of thing, day-night cycle and stuff, and like there's like the little Sega collectibles, so like the egg machines. You go to an egg, one of the machines, you put like $1 in it, twist the thing, and then an egg rolls out. It's got like a little toy inside it. There's like all the Sega characters you can collect and stuff in there. So it's not a guilty pleasure because it's like so many people love the game, but it's just one of those like nostalgia things, and the fact that I haven't played it like the first one for 18 years. Yeah, sure, it doesn't completely hold up like games these days, but I'm not playing for it to think, oh, let's compare it to games these days. I'm playing it for nostalgia and like memories and stuff. But personally, I think it's just as good as any Telltale game out there.
I'll have to keep an eye out. What platform is it going to be on?
PS4 and Xbox. You get both games. You get the first one and the second one, and I think it was about £22 over here, so it's probably like $27.
Yeah, probably under $30.
Yeah, and it's I can't remember how long it is because when I first played it, I think I kind of rushed through the game because I was like 11 or 12 when I played it last, so I kind of just rushed through it just to play it. But I want to say that they're like 30-40 hours long. Maybe so, but the good experience. I mean, seeing how, like, I always thought back to it thinking, I bet it looks absolutely terrible because it's not a remaster. It's just just being brought onto the PlayStation and upscaled for like modern TVs. But like looking at it, like all the people have got like individual fingers. So like before, like games where the hands were just kind of like a merged block of pixels.
Like a mitten.
Yeah, they literally all got individual fingers, and this is a game that's like nearly 20 years old. So, but yeah, that's what I've been playing this week, predominantly anyway. So, the last thing I want to talk about, obviously going on about multiplayer games earlier. So this is gonna be my big question for the week. With obviously there is like a clear divide of a player base now. Like a lot of players like the two sides of either people who only play single player games and people who only play multiplayer games. I probably class you as more of a multiplayer person, aren't you?
It depends. I'm a huge fan of Skyrim, and that's predominantly single player. So, I'm a fan of good games. How about that?
Yeah. Okay.
I like games that are good. Games that are trash, I don't care if they're single player, multiplayer, or whatever. I'm just a fan of good games, and I like games. I like single player games because there's times where I just want to escape real life and just go into my own world. But then there's times where I want multiplayer games because I don't live where I grew up.
Yeah, exactly. That was my main thing I was about to say. Is like for you, obviously not living anywhere near where your friends are and things. You tend to play a lot of multiplayer games so you can socialize.
Keep in touch with people that I.
So obviously things like Ark, the new one that you just talking about, Conan. Obviously Fallout, you'll be playing that as well.
Oh yeah, I used to play Destiny a lot, my friends.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, obviously I know, like obviously No Man's Sky up to a certain point in its life cycle was a predominantly single player game. But and obviously like the Tomb Raider games as well. But I think your general gaming experience usually is a multiplayer game. I would say.
Well, dude, everything's multiplayer. Everything seems to be multiplayer now. I mean, we are connected to the internet through our phones, I have Alexa. I can play Skyrim on my Alexa. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything's over the internet now. We're doing this over the internet right now. I mean, everything's internet. It's just, everybody's connected now. So I guess gaming is just following that suit where everybody's just connected through the internet. So, I mean, it makes sense to have multiplayer games, I guess. Yeah. I mean,
but I mean, like, obviously, for a lot of people, not everyone has transferred to that kind of way of gaming. A lot of people, I mean, me personally, I prefer single player games. Whenever I buy FIFA, like I tend to buy FIFA on a bi-year trend, so I don't buy it every year. I buy it every other year. I don't tend to play the online component at all, and this is what my question is basically. So, do you think companies need to start producing two versions of their games, perhaps, and maybe downgrade the price of them, or maybe I have three versions of the game, so the full version, and then just either say the single player part and then a multiplayer part, because some players, I feel like being charged £60 each year for FIFA, between £50 and £60 each year for FIFA, and then half of the game I'm not even using.
Right.
And not only that, obviously I paid £50-60 for that year for that FIFA, and then each year you also got to pay 50-60 quid for PlayStation Plus as well. So really, if your only game you buy each year is FIFA, you're pretty much paying £120 to play if you are playing the online thing, to pay the online part of FIFA. It would just seem like to me, for some people, it would be nice to have the choice of being able to say, I just want to play the single player. I'm happy to spend, say, even just £40, just £20 less on playing the single player. If you only want to play multiplayer, £40 on the multiplayer, or if you do play, both, then because it seems like if you are one of the people who does only tend to play like a specific part of a game, you are kind of getting, like, you are losing half your money because you're not accessing the other content, are you?
Yeah, I mean, I just see that there's a really slippery slope that could potentially happen with that, and you have, especially with companies like EA, where they would just kill the consumers, because they would, even if they charge $30 or $40 for something, then they're splitting the game up into two separate revenue streams, and then on top of that, there's these two separate microtransaction streams that because how they would do that. I mean, I just see them getting greedy, like companies like EA.
I know with the single player, I know with EA games, at least with FIFA, with single player, there's no microtransactions with any of the single player stuff. I don't know how it works with Madden or is it Madden? What's EA?
Yeah.
Yeah, or like either the NBA one or NHL. But I know the FIFA, like the manager mode or the My Career mode stuff doesn't have any microtransactions in there.
Right.
So unless they do add some kind of feature, but the only way they could do that, and obviously probably make money off it, is if it was a kind of pay-to-win scheme, and we all know what happened last time. Someone had some kind of pay-to-win scheme going on in their games, EA again. So I mean, I'd be up for at least someone trying that kind of thought. I mean, one of probably the most obvious ones would probably be Activision with Call of Duty, because that is very like FIFA. That is very spread out. With some people only play, the single player campaign, and then some people only play the online competitive game. I just thought it was an interesting discussion, really, because obviously it's just such a we are in a point at the minute. I mean, there's a lot of shout outs for people who are saying like we only want single. Like a lot of people are shouting now like they only want single player games now, or we tend to be losing single player games compared to obviously multiplayer games a lot. So I think I don't know if it's just like our generation tends to prefer single player experiences rather than like the newer generation.
I think it comes down to like the game in general, because you've seen how much hate Fallout 76 got because that community was so used to Fallout being single player that the fact that they tried something different, like there's a lot of people that hate that. So I guess it depends on how the game is like marketed throughout the years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it if it's a game where it's designed to be specifically, multiplayer. Like obviously, like I said, Fallout 76, it's only gonna be an online game. There's no, single player experience at all within the game. It's just games like I said, like Call of Duty, where it just seems like it's a waste for some people. I don't know.
I wouldn't spend 10 cents on a Call of Duty campaign game. Anyways, their campaigns are garbage.
Yeah, well, it was just a general. I mean, what other games? I mean, I'm trying to think what other games where they offer like a.
I would do that for like Ark.
Yeah.
So if you told me I could if the new Ark came out and it was like, here you can either buy the single player mode of the game, or you can just buy the multiplayer mode, or buy it grouped in a package. That I could see for that, because that would get me thinking like, well, I mean, do I just want to focus on single player? And I don't want to play multiplayer because I don't want that interaction with people like that type. To me, I could see that happening for that game.
Yeah. I was just about to say a specific game, and I can't remember what I was about to say now. Oh god, here we go. Tired brain coming on. Destiny. So, obviously I know Destiny's single player campaign isn't the greatest, but the second game was a bit better. The single player campaign. If it had a much better single player campaign, would you have just bought the multiplayer? If they split it into just a multiplayer and a single player?
I don't know how I would answer that. Because I can't really compare it to anything because Destiny's single player has always been shitty. So I mean, like, if it was on the same level that we have now, then hell no, it wouldn't be worth $10. No. But I mean, if they actually spent time and really worked on it, then yeah, I mean, I would spend the money.
Oh no, we got babies.
Yeah, he's little man sitting on my lap right now. Just got home from the grocery store. Yeah.
Well, I think we'll call it there then for the episode. You guys let us know your thoughts on everything we've talked about today. From No Man's Sky to obviously this idea about a photo competition to Cyberpunk. Let us know what you've been playing as well. And what's your thoughts on, having two separate versions of a game, a single player and a multiplayer version. Thanks, Jeff, for joining me as usual.
Dude, it's always a pleasure, man.
Thank you so much. And from us to you guys, we shall see you next time.